Welcome to the Tales of Success podcast, a show about Labradors and achieving training success. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Tales of Success podcast with me, Vikki Sharp. This episode is a special one. It's our 20th episode, so we're having a bit of a celebration. For all of those that have supported us from the beginning, a big thank you, and also thanks for coming back each episode just to listen in. I truly do appreciate you spending the time with us. Because we're celebrating, I've got a guest here that is from one of my favourite dog toy companies. He's going to tell us all about the power of play, and there's also going to be an exclusive discount code being shared in this episode that's going to bag you some discount on the most amazing toys for Labradors. So to tell us a little bit more, I've got Danny with me today, who's going to talk to us about a brand called Tug-e-nuff and how the Tug-e-nuff toys and products can help you play, train and bond with your Labrador. So Danny, a big warm welcome from me. Hello.
Hi Vikki, thanks for having me. It's really exciting to be here.
On our 20th episode as well, you're privileged. As much as we want to hear from you and find out a bit more about these incredible toys, let's start off with the most important characters, and that's the dogs in your life. So Danny, what's your experience of being around dogs? Do you own dogs? Do you have the pleasure of being with them every day?
Yeah, I certainly do. So I've had dogs around me all my life. I've actually got two dogs, or me and my partner have two dogs. One, Tiddly, he is a Maltese cross poodle. Now he is quite challenging as a dog, probably because when I got him, I didn't know a huge amount about dogs, although I'd had dogs around me all my life. Having one of my own was quite different, really. So he's really challenging. He can be quite reactive, but when he's at home, he's a lovely dog to have. And then we've got our rescue. Well, I'm going to say he's a Spitz, but we're not 100% sure. He's called Bob, and you'll see Bob on a lot of our marketing stuff that we do. So our booklet, he's on there. We've had him since lockdown. Actually, he's just a dog. That sounds such a strange thing to say, but he does everything you would expect a dog to do. And he is every day he makes me smile. Not that Tiddly doesn't, but every day Bob makes me smile because I just think about how we've kind of impacted on his life. And yeah, he's great. I love him.
You describe him as just a dog, but dogs are dogs. They're absolutely incredible. And as you talk about him, you have a smile on your face. So he's not just a dog. He's probably the most amazing dog. Where are you? In fact, I'm a bit disappointed you don't have Labradors. Maybe by the end of this podcast, we're going to convince you to go get a Labrador as well. But the two dogs that you have, where are they at their happiest? You know, whether that's a location or a particular activity, where do they kind of settle into life and enjoy it the most?
So that's different for both of them, as I'm sure it is for all of your listeners that have got more than one dog. Tiddly, he is a couch potato. He will do anything to sit on the sofa. So much so that he just moves the evening on. So as soon as we finish dinner, he's looking at the door to go and sit on the sofa. He loves that. Whereas Bob, he is very active. His most happy place is out in the field, but also he comes around to lots of the shows that we go to for the business, and he meets loads of dogs, loads of people. He's got a little fan club, to be honest. So yeah, he that's his place to be, is out and about enjoying and meeting people.
Tell us a little bit about how Tug-e-nuff came into creation in the first place, and what was its purpose?
I suppose my mum, who is another owner of Tug-e-nuff, she really kind of started getting into dogs probably when I was actually not living at home. She had a spaniel actually called Jess, who she started doing agility with, because she's, as most people know about spaniels, they're a bit busy. So she worked with somebody who was an agility instructor, and that's kind of where it all really started. So my mum, Teresa, she started agility training. They want dogs to play, and products like ours were not easily available in the UK back then.
You mentioned Jess, this spaniel that takes part in agility. So with a lot of the working dog breeds, Labradors, Collies, Spaniels, they love having a job to do. And actually agility is a great way to give them a job. Would you say that that's where Jess was at her happiest when she was doing those jobs?
Yeah, 100%. Jess was really, she was a really happy dog. She really enjoyed doing it. I would say that Teresa struggled a bit with her. It was not until she kind of moved on to the collies that she had. So I think the dog after Jess was a collie called Indy. It was actually where a lot of the inspiration for Tug-e-nuff came from. Indy was completely food motivated, and toys. She just didn't really want to interact with toys. So Teresa created a toy called, and we still manufacture it now, which incorporated food into play to try and move those dogs that were really food motivated onto play.
Of course, many dogs are food motivated, but you've spoken about your dogs, but I'm going to bring Labradors into the mix here. Totally food motivated. And I suppose these dogs you're talking about, is that what caused Tug-e-nuff as a brand to come into creation, finding something to motivate your dogs?
Definitely, 100%. That was really how we got into doing this, and it's all about how you can harness play into your dog training. Labradors being very food motivated. I look after one every now and again. One of my friends, she's got a Labrador called Bella, and food is life. It's to the point where sometimes it can be really frustrating and difficult to manage situations. But yeah, I've done a little bit of play work with her, and we it does move them away from that focus of food, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You've said that food is life for your friend's Labrador. There's going to be a lot of listeners listening to this with a little smile on their face because they go, yeah, that is my Labrador to a T. So Tug-e-nuff came into creation with Teresa doing agility and wanting to find toys that really motivated the dogs and got them energized and excited about the task that they were doing. So you're now part of this great big brand of Tug-e-nuff that create these toys. What do you do kind of at Tug-e-nuff? What is important to you as someone that is part of Tug-e-nuff?
Yeah, so I joined Tug-e-nuff. Well, it's a family business, first of all. So as I mentioned, it's my mum was one of the founders. I joined probably about 2013. My background is very much in customer service, and customer satisfaction is something that's really important to me. So although I now get involved in a lot in the day-to-day running, whether that's down to how we events that we attend, marketing, our manufacturing, because we've got a huge manufacturing operation here now, much larger than it was when I started, and also just the day-to-day running of the business, making sure that everything happens when it should happen. So that's kind of what my background is and my role in it. But customer satisfaction is the most important thing to me. So if you email, ring, or meet us at events, that's the thing I really want to make sure that everybody that has an interaction with us has the best. And we really power our ethos on how play can really change the relationship between dogs and humans.
Yeah, and I would also like to just commend you really, because customer service is a big part of any business, and I think you can lose a lot of clients and customers very easily with bad customer service. I've got dozens and dozens of emails from you when I've bought products before. They're all just really useful, they're friendly, they're on point. It's not spammy, it's brilliant. It's just a great company for me as a consumer to kind of buy products from. So what is the future for Tug-e-nuff? What is the vision? And more importantly, why do owners of Labradors need you?
That's a great question. So for us, as I said, everything we do is about furthering that bond between human and dog, whether that's through toys that can help with recall training, toys that can help with building the bond, and also things that down to dog sports, how you can build confidence in your dogs through it. And there's lots of things that as Labrador owners, you can use the power of play for. We mentioned previously about food. Food is something that as a Labrador owner, you're going to have to work with, but we do produce toys that do incorporate food. So our spongy food bag is really great because you can put food inside it. The dog knows that the food is there, and you can then try and build additional ways to reward your dog and mix up your dog training through bringing in that tug style game, with the knowledge that the food reward is not that far away for them.
Yeah.
They don't have to wait that long for it. Yeah.
Absolutely, because that makes your toys way more interesting than just a tennis ball. So let's talk specifically about the toys and the products that you sell. So people that listen to this and think, well, it's just another dog toy. it's not just another dog toy. So talk us through some of the products that you sell. What can people expect from your toys that maybe they can't get from Pets at Home or a local dog store?
The thing that I like to feel that we differentiate ourselves from other dog toys out there is, and you've touched on this, is the information, help, and education that we do alongside the products we make. So obviously we produce a lot of toys, a lot of different textures, scents, and furs. But really for us, we want to set everybody up for success when they buy one of our toys. So as you mentioned, you will get a lot of emails from us, but every single one of those emails is there to try and educate you into how you can get the best from it and how you can make sure that the longevity of the toy is there. So making sure that we are only using them for interactive play, the tug style games, through to games that you can play with them. So we've got a really popular blog post or it's actually now a video on our website around 5 games that you can play with a tug toy. So it's not just about tug, it's about different games that you can play and different ways that you can enhance that relationship with your dog.
And these products that you sell, I'm right in thinking they are all kind of handmade products and made here in the UK, right?
Yeah, so the majority of our products, are handmade here in the UK or hand finished by us in our workshop here down in Devon. So we've got a team of about 7 people in our manufacturing who are constantly day in, day out making these toys. And quality is really, really important to us. So every toy goes through a quality control check at every stage through the manufacture process, so that we can ensure that the toys that you get at the end once you place the order are the best that we possibly can. Every single one of our toys comes with our 45-day Tug-e-nuff guarantee, and that for me is really important. I understand when you buy things online that it's not easy to know whether what you've got is really what you need. So we will replace or exchange any toy for any reason within 45 days. So whether that's that your dog's had a go at it, didn't really get on with it, you don't think it's right for them, we will exchange it for people within those 45 days. So it is really a test to make sure that what you bought is really going to motivate your dog and give you the results that you're looking for.
So, I mean, that to me just shows total confidence in your products as well. So that's your Tug-e-nuff guarantee, is that right?
That's correct, yeah. So 45 days from the date it arrives, you can contact us. We might ask you a couple of questions about the reasons why you're looking to return it, but that's so that we can give you the information advice that you might need to choose a better option for you and your dog.
Yeah. And I just want to touch upon this point of the Tug-e-nuff guarantee, but also what these products that you sell are for, because we've referred to them as toys.
Yep.
In most owners' mind, when we buy our dog a toy from the pet store, we give it to our dog and we just kind of leave them to it. They chew it, they destroy it, they go rogue and have their own fun. But actually, Tug-e-nuff toys, I would say, are actually more of a training aid. It's a way to interact with your dog, and actually, it's kind of a bit of a team game that we're using to create bonds. So, am I right in thinking that it is to kind of assist the training and behavioural issues that we might face?
Absolutely. So our toys are predominantly tug toys. So we do one product, which we can talk about in a minute because it does incorporate food, but predominantly our toys are tug toys, and tug is a team sport. So when we talk about tug, we're talking about the dog holding onto or biting onto what we would call the bite area. So we've got lots of different scents and textures, from British sheep fur to synthetic fur and fleece, and you holding the handle and engaging in that game of tug, engaging with your dog and interacting with them in the way that they understand. So, dogs can't talk, as we all know, but playing with them is a way of communicating with them. And as I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and building that bond between you and your dog. So yes, they are definitely designed for interactive play, tug style games. That doesn't mean that you can't mix it up and kind of play fetch games, hide games, things like that with it, and using the game of tug at the end as the reward. So the other thing that's really important to remember, and whenever we talk to people face to face or even over the phone when we're helping people, is a great thing to remember is that we are simulating prey with most of these toys. So it's we don't like to think about it, but if our dogs were kind of left to their own devices, they're going to run, chase, catch their prey, and the next logical step We won't go into it, but that's essentially what's going to happen. So if you do leave these tug toys with them, because they are viewing them as prey and we're simulating that, then they're not gonna last as long as they possibly could do.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when we say we play with our dogs, we give them a toy, it seems very simplistic. We give them a toy, we just have a little bit of fun for a couple of minutes. But you've created some play guides which are on your website, which are actually quite in depth and guide people the best way to use your toys. But I suspect they could use them for other toys as well. But it will really hammer home the importance of play, how to use them and get the best out of your toys. So just give us a little run through of your play guides and where people can find them.
We put a lot of effort into producing videos, blogs, and ebooks that are free. So we don't charge for those at all, but they are a wealth of resources that we've built up over many years. So, just an example, one of the things that we recently created is our 13-part Power of Play online course, which kind of takes you through how to choose the right toy for your dog, how to interact with your dog using that toy, how to care for it, because that's really important as well to ensure the longevity. How you can use play in agility training or any other dog sport training, really. Recall is one of the things that we get asked about constantly, and our chaser style toys, so they're toys with a clear bite area again and a long handle. They're great for kind of getting your dog to chase. So instead of chasing the squirrel or other dog in the distance, turn it around and get them to chase you. They're then interacting with you, having a game of tug as a reward. So there's a video in that course that kind of takes you through how to harness that in your recall training. Yeah, totally free. You can join up at any point. If you go to our website, it's in the Let's Learn section. Totally free, alongside loads of ebooks. So we've got ebooks on recall, ebooks on how to spark the play drive. So we've talked a lot about how you can use play in your training, but if your dog isn't that much of a isn't that playful, we've got a guide on how you can spark that play drive. So all those information, all that resources on our website, and it's free of charge under the Let's Learn section of our website.
Yeah, you mentioned that some dogs haven't got much play drive, and I hear that a fair bit. My dog doesn't like toys and my dog doesn't like play. And what I would say is your dog hasn't found the right toy and you've not approached play in the right way. So every dog will like a toy if it's the right toy in the right setting. And do you know what, for me, I use these toys a lot in all of the training sessions that I do. And I use them for distracting dogs, rewarding dogs, and just to ignite that spark for a desire to learn or just having a bit of fun and bonding with a dog. Every session that I go to, I've got this big training bag, and all of my consultations will involve at some point a rabbit or a sheepskin chaser or pocket magnet. They're brilliant. And you mentioned earlier about replicating prey. We're essentially giving our Labradors, our retrievers, a piece of rabbit fur or sheepskin, which replicates that dead or dying animal. And we don't like to think about it like that, but that is their natural breed trait. So tapping into that is key for me. You can see the spark that dogs get. What are your best selling products? Is it the kind of the real fur options?
Yeah, definitely. So especially for Labradors, definitely, real fur products, they do give that additional spark that some dogs might need to actually become playful and want to play tug. So definitely, so things that incorporate real fur. The other types of toys that we produce that we see really popular with Labrador owners is our Crazy Thing, which isn't a real fur toy. It is made from fleece, but it's the best way to describe it is a mop. But it does simulate, or the idea is it simulates the feathers of birds, which of course, obviously, for Labradors, going to be something that's going to be highly motivating for them. So you can use that to really kind of start to build that play drive with your dog. And the other product that we make, and is one of our top sellers, is our clam. So that was very much designed in the initial stages as a toy to help in agility training. So when you might need to reward your dog at a distance, it's a ball that comes apart into two sections. You load it up with some treats. You close it up with some, and it's fastened with hook and loop. We're not allowed to use the brand name. And you throw it, and the idea is that your dog can get that reward instantly. I can really see that product being a really great toy for Labradors because of that food element you're bringing into it, and you're being playful with food. So it's not just about sniffing out somebody's picnic and going and eating it. You're kind of bringing that food element back into it to try and distract them from doing that, by loading this clam up with some treats, throwing it the opposite direction, getting them to grab it, bringing it back to you, and loading it up again, and kind of continuing that game.
And I think, I've got one scenario that pops into my head when you talk about that particular product. Labradors like eating things off the floor that maybe they shouldn't. Cow dung, that kind of thing, and that's a really good product actually. If we see our dog going towards the things that maybe we don't want them to have, if recall is not quite where it needs to be, we can essentially show them this product. It's full of food, and throw it in the general direction but further away from that distraction, and it kind of brings them away from it. It gives you that couple of seconds of keeping your dog away from the things that they shouldn't have. So everything has uses for different reasons really. And one of the things I like about your website is it does allow you to search for toys just based on your dog's size, what you want to achieve with them, such as, if you want to supercharge your recall or motivate them. That's a great thing to use on the website. So would you say it is really important that you do pick the right tool or the right toy for what you want to achieve?
I think so. I think that the most important thing, when choosing a toy, is thinking about your dog and the traits. So obviously for Labradors, thinking about things like real furs are really probably something that are going to help with getting or igniting that play drive. Foodie toys. So again, we've talked about the food bag and the clam. They're going to be really great. But more generally, finding the toy that sparks that play drive is really key. And going back again to our guarantee, that's why we offer it really, because you might not get that right the first time. And although we try and give as much information and help before you make that purchase, that decision, you might get it and it just doesn't work for you or your dog. So that's why it's really important to us that people have that ability to kind of go, do you know what, it isn't working? Let's try something else, because it is important. And once you've found that, I hear it time and time again from people when we're at shows, is my dog will do anything for this toy. They'll come back off, chasing a sheep in the distance, or they'll I even had a review not very long ago, which and this is kind of blowing our own trumpet, but the title of the review was the Rolls Royce of dog toys. So that to me was like music to my ears, and everything that we've done and the hard work that the whole team have put into building our brand, that meant everything to me really. So it's really about how you can find the right toy, but we will do everything we can to help you do that.
And I'm going to chuck in a couple of my product recommendations. So if you're thinking about getting one of these toys, but you're not sure which, for me, with Labradors that I live with and train, sheepskin chaser tug and a pocket magnet tug are my go-tos pretty much every training session that we do. Where can people get hold of your products? Is it just through the website? Do you have physical stores?
So we're very much online. So that's where we sell most of our products. It's tug-e-nuff.co.uk. We do have some stores, or stockists, we would call them, over the country. But they tend to be smaller dog training venues, really, which is great because they help us kind of further the messaging about the power of play and how we can do it. But definitely you can buy online from our website. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Tug-e-nuff on both of those. So yeah, that's kind of how you can get hold of our products. And we also do lots of events. So we've just finished a series of Dog Fest events, which we've kind of been running we've been doing from around June to now. And we're always at crafts. We love going to crafts.
Good. And at the very start of this podcast, we said to people that there'd be an exclusive discount code for them to get their hands on some of these Tug-e-nuff toys. So tell us about how people can get their discount, how much discount, and what they need to do to get that applied to their basket.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we're really happy to offer you, your listeners, a really great discount. So the code they need to use on our website is Labrador, to make it really easy. That'll give you 10% off any purchase on our website. And to order it, you just go to tug-e-nuff.co.uk. tug-e-nuff.co.uk, or to be honest, just search for Tug-e-nuff on Google and you'll find us.
Great stuff. So Labrador at the point of checkout gets you that exclusive 10% discount. Danny, thanks for joining me on this episode. It's been great to help shine a spotlight on the good work that Tug-e-nuff do. And I'm sure loads of our listeners will be heading to your website to claim that discount and stock up on some new toys that are going to help with their training. Folks that are listening, go get your toys, and Danny and I would love to see them actually being put into good use. So pop a little post on Instagram and tag at Tails Success and at Tug-e-nuff so we can see you and your Labrador in action. Thanks for joining us. We hope that has been useful to you. But from me, all I want to finish off by saying is be caring, be consistent, and be your Labrador's best teacher. I'll catch you on the next episode.